or Cesar Romero.
That's kind of the thing between the two villains. I know since then in the comics and obviously things like Arkham City, they've given each character their different thing. Like the Joker is completely different to the Riddler, but during this time and even in Batman Forever, they were very similar in terms of cackling, devious criminals.
I think it, and out of the two, the Joker seems to be the one more in control than the Riddler, and that's not something I particularly want, because I don't know, I just don't like having two sort of maniacal villains.
Yeah,
in the same film.
Certainly with Penguin and Catwoman, they do seem to have that difference, but I see what you mean between the Joker. I love both the Joker and the Riddler. I think the Riddler is like one of my favourite interpretations. Honestly, because you see his performance, it's over the top, but as I was watching it, I was thinking, this is probably more toned down than Jim Carrey's.
Yes, probably. But I have to say, the Riddler is the villain I didn't like in this film.
Oh.
He came across too much like the Joker, and it sort of put me off his character.
Yeah.
But the one I really love, my favourite
I think
villain,
I know who you're going to say now.
Yeah. Is Burgess Meredith as the Penguin.
You're going to eat lightning and crack thunder.
I love Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
He is the... I do think he, as in terms of villains, in my opinion, he steals that the show from underneath all the other villains.
Arguably, he is probably the main villain. I mean, I know all four are in it, but in terms of his plot and how it's carried out, he is probably the main villain.
Yeah, probably, and the whole thing. It's so stupid. I can't explain it.
Jetpack umbrellas.
The jetpack umbrellas. He has jetpack umbrellas.
An item that no super criminal should be without, by the way.
This actually that sums up, that epitomizes the film though, having crazy gadgets like that. When you see the tumbler in like the Nolan Batmans and all these gadgets that are realistic and are sort of imagined from currently existing technology, but as to epitomise this film, something that doesn't exist, basically an umbrella, a giant umbrella that has a joystick to fly it with. You don't even strap in; you sit on the thing, and you fly. Like,
if that doesn't make a great film, I don't know what does. How many films since can you say have had jetpack umbrellas? Probably none.
Probably none.
I don't know. Mary Poppins.
That was Mary Poppins had a flying umbrella.
It was not a jetpack. Therefore, this film is superior.
No, it wasn't a jet. Well, could you imagine what would have happened if Mary Poppins had gotten a jetpack umbrella?
Possibilities are quite literally endless.
But I think that Burgess Meredith, his charm, he sort of has that very, you see him in Rocky, and he does pretty much the same way. He doesn't do pretty much the same thing, but you can still see his sort of. I mean, he carries over that voice. Oh, that laugh as well makes the film for me. The Penguin.
When you think of the Penguin, you may think of the Danny DeVito one, but if you think of classic Penguin, it's top hat, monocle, cigarette holder.
Yeah, and the whole thing, even the way he moves, he waddles as he moves. And I mean, Burgess Meredith is a short guy, but he's not Danny DeVito short. And it's very, I don't know how to explain it. It's a very I do like Burgess Meredith in it. I really love Burgess Meredith in it. And I think he brings he completes the package. And I think he's sort of I can't explain how much I love his character or how he plays him, because you can't. You just have to see it to sort of know the charm of it, if that makes any sense. But then you get onto. I'm guessing this one you probably don't like.
No, I actually quite like the movie incarnation of Catwoman, because from the TV show, the Catwoman was played by Julie Newmar, but she couldn't. I'm not really sure the reasons. I'm not sure whether she had health problems or filming schedule conflicts. But in the film, she was played by Lee Merriweather, and I actually quite like this incarnation. Yes, it's over the top with the purring and everything, but in terms of the sultry voice, the seducing Batman, although hammy, is it's all there. I've not a patch on Michelle Pfeiffer, obviously, but
I like Catwoman in this. I though she doesn't particularly do much in the terms of, like, there's the whole fight sequence on the boat at the end, and also in the warehouse where Bruce Wayne's kidnapped. She doesn't do much. She just sort of stands there going, wah! And that's pretty much all she does in terms of fight scenes. But she plays it rather well. And
by the looks of The Dark Knight Rises, the costume isn't far off from this version.
No, and I'll say, if I was sort of raised in the 60s, I won't go into too much detail. Cat, like there's so many cat references with her cat, and that's part of the charm of her. Like, I mean, everyone has their references. Like, Joker makes lots of pretty sort of stupid,
it's like
and
slapstick comedy kind of thing, gags.
Yeah, slapstick comedy. Penguin has lots to do with fish and umbrellas and everything. Riddler has his riddle rockets, which blow up and magically write stuff in the sky. And Catwoman, she has cats, and that, oh my god, the sequence. There's a bit in it where Catwoman throws down a cat, and says, "Gouge out their eyes," and she throws a cat onto a table, and then you see all three reactions, and the cat just sits there. It's supposed to be sort of going rah and growling at them, but it's as calm as anything, and all the villains are like
should have been like
scared of it.
Catzilla from Mouse Hunt.
Yes, it should have. And I think Catwoman is she works, and she basically, what goes down is that Catwoman disguises as Miss Kitka. Does this whole thing with Miss Kitka where she sort of tries to seduce Bruce Wayne, and
we get to see Adam West emote.
Emote for the most part.
Oh yeah.
He the whole Miss Kitka thing is actually quite funny, and it's witty, and so some of the jokes pretty much work, and some of them are a little bit off the ball, but the whole relationship between I didn't know whether whether Catwoman was genuinely playing up to that, or whether she genuinely did like Batman.
I think that's the kind
Bruce
of whole
Wayne
thing about the character of Catwoman, she plays up this act of, well, we don't know if it's an act. She secretly likes Batman, but then she's torn between the villain persona and then, the love interest of Batman.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't think of this as like serious sort of.
Oh no, the hell no.
Substance. No. It has no substance whatsoever. It's a parody and it's funny, and I think all the villains are have their own personalities. I mean, I think the Riddler is too much like the Joker, but that's.
I think that's probably because when obviously we'll get into this with later reviews, but with the Dark Knight Rises coming out, everyone was talking about that the Riddler should be the next villain in the film. But I think Nolan, although you could probably change it, I think Christopher Nolan decided not to because you can draw so many parallels from the Riddler to the Joker.
Yeah,
I guess that's just always been the way.
Yeah, and I haven't particularly seen the point in the Riddler as a villain. I don't think he really works. I
think he works as a side villain. If done right, I suppose you could. If you could make it very Seven-ish with the riddles, but I don't think the Riddler could really carry a film on his own.
No, very Seven-ish with.
Well, I don't know. Kevin Spacey kind of vibe with the Riddler. I don't know. It could work.
It could do. Actually, you said you liked 3 villains. Which one did you least? What was your sort of least? Which one did you not really think was?
Don't hate me, but Penguin was probably. I do love Burgess Meredith as the part of the Penguin, but when I think in terms of the character, I think that he is the one. The Joker, Riddler, and Catwoman are ones I can watch now and say yes, they're over the top, but they are still kind of in keeping with their character. And I know that probably Penguin towards this time was kind of like this as well, but he just strikes me as the one that, I don't know, it's brilliant, but he's just the one that seems to me to be the one that hasn't aged the best out of the 4 villains. But I can still watch it in this satirical, over-the-top way and, appreciate it. This is if I'm having a look at the villains from today's Batman standards.
Yeah. It is played for laughs a lot, and I think the whole film is really just a sort of, you can't judge it as anything more than a satire and a parody.
It's just in keeping with the times, but obviously with modern audiences now, and obviously since Batman's took a much darker route.
It's fun to sort of go back and see that and see how much it's changed and see how it was perceived in that sort of time period. But I mean, hold it up to today and, it won't stand a chance.
If you've never seen Batman the movie, I think it should be watched. As you said, there's like a kind of retrospective of how Batman started out. Yeah. But if you're looking for a serious Batman film, gritty, brooding, dark, this isn't the film for you.
No, not at all. If you don't like, I mean, it is essentially satire in the whole Batman persona and how he gets out of, situations, and sort of a parody in that. If you don't like that, then, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Simple as, really. To continue on the sort of Batmarathon, we've got Tim Burton's Batman, which is coming up next, which we're basically going to review as our next instalment of the Batmarathon.
Looking forward to that one.
I have my thoughts on it, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay. Anyway, that is Adam West Batman in a nutshell.
Okay. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.